When young people are around 18, 19, and 20, they're often told that money doesn't grow on trees. This process starts back in school, where we're taught to follow the traditional path of getting a job and a mortgage, which leads to working every hour of the day just to earn enough money to retire at 67. And well, you know the rest. Let's be real for a second. Do you think that's how I make $67,257? Idea 1. Invest in stocks. Now, there's a bit more to this than just invest in the stock market and you'll make passive income. I mean, I can see why people might think this because let's say you buy a share in a company and it goes up in value. Technically, you've generated some money without doing anything. But in order to actually get your cash out, you have to sell your stock. Some would consider this passive income, but I just think of it as a bonus and not something to rely on. I consider passive income as nothing less than actual money flowing into your bank account every month without the need to sell the asset that's making you the money. That's why the only form of stock market investing I consider to be real passive income is dividend stocks. These are chunks of companies you can buy. Think Starbucks, Pepsi, and McDonald's. And in return for owning them, you get a share of the profits paid directly into your pocket, as well as benefiting from the stock going up in value. It's a bit of a bonus. They're one of the easiest ways to make money on a consistent basis with absolutely no work. Well, that's as long as you pick the right ones to invest in. I strongly suggest you listen to this. Hustle. A lot of people don't understand the difference between a job and an automated side hustle. When I was younger, I had a friend called Jamie who had a small dog training business. He was fantastic at what he did. I remember him taming the craziest of dogs. One day when we were sitting in the park, I asked him how much money he made, and I was surprised to find out he was only just getting by. It didn't really make sense to me how such a skilled person, who obviously had a lot of value to give, was unable to make the money he deserved. If we put aside the fact that he probably wasn't charging enough, we get to the real issue, which was the business model. He only had a limited amount of hours he could sell and dogs he could train, therefore he could only earn so much before his potential was capped, as at the time there was no way to automate and scale it. But now we have the internet. These little side hustles can become much more passive and make a lot more money. So how do you go from having a skill like Jamie to having an automated side hustle? Well, here's the steps I'd take, and I'm pretty sure I could turn a small side hustle like Jamie's into $1 million business nowadays. Firstly, you have to identify what you're really good at. Ideally, you should have some kind of unfair advantage, but this is where the majority of people get caught in the same trap as Jamie, as they start to sell every minute of their time for a small amount of money. Instead, you need to focus every waking hour on building a digital asset of some kind. For Jamie, this could have been a blog where he talked about training dogs, a manual for owners to train their own pets, or a course that teaches other people how to start a dog training side hustle. Secondly, when you've decided what kind of digital asset you want to build, you have to put it on the internet. The best solution I found for this is a tool called Hostinger, which is an all-in-one platform. I'm talking hosting, website builder, logo maker, and free domain name with an annual plan. I'll personally choose this as the drag-and-drop website builder makes it so easy as I don't have any coding skills. Then it's just a case of effectively advertising your digital product on social media. I'd highly recommend making viral TikToks about your product, as you can reach so many people without too much time and effort. So how much time does automating a side hustle take? Well, if you're doing it on your own, I'd give it a 5 out of 5, as it does take a while to build the digital product, and then you have the added headache of making a website. However, if you do decide to use something like Hostinger, then I'll give this a 3 out of 5, as you don't need to worry about having any technical or design skills for the website. You can just use the built-in AI website builder to make the website for you, or alternatively, you could use the designer. For decades, traditional media, I'm talking about radio stations and television networks, hoarded millions upon millions of dollars from advertising. The public had no idea just how much money was involved until YouTube opened its doors, allowing everyday people to create their own content. This truly lifted the curtain. Traditional media despises this because every chance they get, they try to discredit social media. Those leveraging online platforms are now rightfully taking their fair share of what was once an extremely guarded money pot. It still shocks me how some people don't understand how content creators make money. The concept of advertising is hundreds of years old, and online ads are far more trackable than just placing a random advert on TV and hoping it boosts sales. The best piece of advice I've received about social media is that it's not about if you do it, but how well you do it. So how can we use it to make money? Well, as I've mentioned before, you can start a YouTube channel. Once you reach 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can start getting paid from the adverts on your videos. Whenever I say this, some people respond with, well, those who succeed are just lucky. Maybe this was true a few years ago, but now if your content is good and tailored for the algorithm, you will be successful. The harsh truth is, too many people think their content is good when it's actually just terrible, and no one wants to tell them. They only ask family and friends, who sugarcoat the truth to protect their feelings. If you want an honest judgment, you need to ask people who don't care about offending you. Care more about feedback from those who are impartial. Choose whatever medium you feel most comfortable with, whether it's writing, taking photos, speaking into a microphone, or recording a full-blown video. As long as you capture people's attention, you're onto a winner. It's also worth mentioning that picking a niche is crucial. In the early days of the internet, you could get away with talking about anything and everything. But now, with so much competition, you need to specialize in something particular. Think about it like your favorite TV show. Every time you tune in, you know what to expect. Similar characters, locations, and storylines. Make sure your viewers know what kind of content you produce and put it out on a regular basis. This also makes it a lot easier to attract sponsorship opportunities. I like to think of every video I put on this channel as a little asset that will make me money for years to come. It's also extremely fun to make content. So, how much time does content creation take? I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 rating, as it's one of the most time-consuming things in the world. I won't beat around the bush. Making content is a long, hard process. This video alone has probably taken us more than 5 days to produce. However, the upsides are worth it, in my opinion. Just think, the harder something is to do, the less competition you actually have. Now, how much money do you need? This is a 1 out of 5, as you really don't need much to start. I see way too many people buying the latest equipment or going on lengthy courses to learn how to create content. This is a terrible idea. You just need to become an avid consumer of whatever you want to create. Take the good parts from all those different things and then mix them with your own ideas. There's a great book about this called Steal Like an Artist. Most importantly, how easy is it to make $100 a week? Well, this has to be a 1 out of 5 too. Within a couple of months of starting this YouTube channel, it was able to make more than $100 per day, and you can do the same. No wonder the traditional media wanted to hold all the cards. Private investing. Now, I want you to imagine you're an investor on Shark Tank. An entrepreneur walks in with an incredible business you think you can help with, and they're looking for some money to expand. You have the opportunity to get in on the ground floor of this business. Are you going to take the risk? How about if you're having a conversation with a family member and they share their plan for a world-dominating business and they just need a small amount of money to start? If you are, suggesting private investing could be for you. Your first step is deciding which kind of private investor you are. There are 2 main types, sharks and angels. Some stay angels, and some morph into sharks. But it'll help you to know the difference. Angels often invest in businesses run by friends and family. They often don't have lots of money nor an interest in taking control of the business. They're generally seen as nicer and more forgiving, hence their name. On the other hand, sharks may invest small amounts of money but have deeper pockets. They may also seek a controlling interest at the start, as they're confident their expertise can make the business more profitable and therefore grow their investment. I'm personally more inclined towards the shark end of the spectrum, as I like to have as much control over my investments as possible. But whichever private investment strategy you pick, you can also combine it with content creation. Believe it or not, the actor Ryan Reynolds is a great example of this. He's one of the smartest people on the planet right now, and I'm not exaggerating. He's extremely good at playing the everyday guy, but under the mask, he's a business-savvy venture capitalist with many multi-million-dollar exits under his belt, giving him a net worth of over $350 million. He finds interesting companies, offers to buy a small percentage as an angel investor, uses his social media to drive up the value, and then when the company sells, he gets a huge check for tens of millions of dollars. And this is almost all passive income. Genius! Now, of course, Ryan is a worldwide star, but you can replicate this strategy on a smaller scale and use it to make a lot of passive income. I mean, even if you could replicate 1% of his success, that would give you a net worth of $3.5 million. So how much time does private investing take? I'm going to give this 2.5 out of 5, as it takes a while to find a business that you really believe is worth investing in. Don't just jump into anything. Take your time and carefully consider if you can see that business being successful in the future. You also have to ask the entrepreneur how dividends will be paid and their ultimate exit strategy, as that's how you're going to get the majority of your money. The actual investing part doesn't take long, as it's just the case of handing over the money and being assigned your percentage of the business. Now, how much money do you need? I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 because it really depends on the business that you're investing in. I've personally invested anywhere between $1,000 and $100,000. Of course, the earlier you get in, the less you're going to have to invest, but also the more risk you're taking. So you have to decide how much risk you're willing to take. If you do this, I'd also recommend making more than one investment, as I've often found that one good investment can make up for 9 bad ones. But importantly, how easy is it to make $100 a week? I'm going to rate this a 2 out of 5 because it really depends on your negotiation skill and how much you invest. I've invested $5,000 in a business and helped them to upgrade their equipment, as well as helping them grow their client base. I started making an easy $100 per week in dividends. The more value you can offer, the more you'll get in return, as you're taking money out of the entrepreneur's pocket. Affiliate marketer. I remember when recently a big bank had a promotion. My son's girlfriend sent a sign-up link to all of her friends, letting them know if they downloaded the app, they could get a free $10. She was shocked by the results. Every few hours, a new friend had signed up and thanked her for the free cash. Before she knew it, 30 of her friends had signed up using the link, and she'd hit the limit. But she wasn't just doing this out of the kindness of her heart, although she's a kind girl. She also got paid $10 for everyone that signed up, meaning that day she made $300 just sitting in bed texting a few people. Just imagine if there wasn't a limit. She could have made far more. This is essentially affiliate marketing, but real affiliate marketing doesn't have a limit, so you can make as much as you want. It's considered to be one of the simplest, yet most profitable ways to make money online, as it doesn't require you to have any extra skills or previous experience. All this typically needed as an affiliate is a passion for your niche and strong persuasive skills. Think about all the products you love and maybe even use on a daily basis. The chances are that other people will also like those products, and you are the perfect person to sell it to them. Most big companies have an affiliate scheme, so all you have to do is go onto their website and do a bit of digging. If you can't find anything, it's worth reaching out to them directly and asking if you become an affiliate. There are also websites like impact.com, where you can see a lot of different affiliate schemes that you can easily sign up for. Now, you have to make some noise. You can do this by writing blogs, using social media, or posting reviews. You may have already seen this done on TikTok with those videos about Amazon products you need to buy. Every time someone buys through your link, you, as the affiliate marketer, receive a kickback and make a profit. But bear in mind, if you're doing reviews, you should actually purchase the product and test it, using it over a period of time. A report in your finders will make sure your content is useful and genuine. One thing to keep in mind before you start affiliate marketing is to consider how you can provide value to your audience that exceeds what you get in return. So how much time does affiliate marketing take? I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. I'm not going to lie, it's going to be hard to begin with, so it's important to have realistic expectations. While it is a great way to make money online, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires patience and a willingness to learn. It's totally understandable to feel discouraged if you don't see results right away. But keep in mind that success in this field takes time. You need to build trust with your audience and create valuable content for them. Now, how much money do you need? This gets a 1 out of 5 because you don't need any money whatsoever. That's assuming you already have a phone or a laptop you can use to access the internet and make your content. But how easy is it to make $100 a week? I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. If we take the example of my son's girlfriend, she was kind of doing affiliate marketing without even knowing, and she managed to make $300 in one day. Of course, this wasn't very passive as she had to keep sending out links, but it shows that with some effort you can make a significant amount of money. Digital tool. My best friend decided to do this, and now he's a multimillionaire who spends more time on vacation with his wife than he does at home. He noticed a gap in the market for a digital tool that helped large membership organizations keep track of all their customers' data. At first, he decided to sell his software as a one-time purchase. However, he always had to search for a new customer. When he made the switch to a subscription-based model, he was able to make a very predictable amount of passive income every month. Well, I say passive income, of course. He still had to offer support to his customers, but eventually, he hired people to do this for him and was completely hands-off. He later went on to sell his business for multiple millions. Before you start thinking you have to be some kind of nerd to create a digital tool, hear me out. The most important thing to do is to identify a problem that needs solving. Often you find people who have the ability to code aren't that creative and need a lot of direction. So, if you can't code, don't let that stop you. People don't realize that they're sitting on a gold miner, could already own what they need to make some passive income. I remember a few years ago, one of my friends revealed to me that he was struggling to pay his bills. I then suggested you rented out his driveway to make some passive income. He looked at me and laughed, but then a few weeks later he texted me back and said it was working amazingly. This is because he lived near a train station, which meant he could charge people $70 a week to leave their car on his drive when they went to London to work. He had capacity for 2 cars, so he was actually able to make $140 a week in an extra passive income. I'm aware not everyone has a driveway to rent out, but most people have something they could use to make money. Make a list of everything you own and see if anything jumps out at you. A few ideas that come to mind are storage space, such as an attic or a basement, a vehicle, camping equipment, camera gear, a garage, or a spare room in your house. Or dare I say it, money. Of course, you could always go down the route of buying a second property to rent out, but you would need a considerable amount of money to do that. The world is definitely becoming more familiar with rented things as things are getting more increasingly expensive. Renting out your stuff can be a great way to actually justify buying the asset in the first place. I mean, if I knew that an expensive camera will pay for itself after a certain amount of rentals, then it makes sense to buy it once you've thought of what you can rent to others. All you need to do is find an app that matches you with potential customers. There are so many of these in the past. I've used Fat Llama to rent camera equipment and camping gear, Toro to rent vehicles, and Airbnb to hire filming locations. Peer-to-peer lending platforms also make it possible for you to essentially rent out your money to others. While it does involve some risk, many lenders have successfully generated a nice income from this investment. For example, Prosper, one of the leading platforms, is an average historical return of 5.4. So if you're willing to take a bit of a risk, this could be a great option to explore. So how much time does renting something out take? I'll give this a 1 out of 5 because all you have to do is take a few pictures and upload them to an app or website that does all the work for you. The biggest drawback of this is the potential risk involved. Not everyone will take the same degree of care with your items as you would. That's why having some kind of insurance is important. Normally, this comes with the platform that you decide to use. Now, how much money do you need? I'll also give this a 1 out of 5 because if you're just renting out things you already own, it's not going to cost you anything. The only cost will be if you decide to get separate insurance or you decide you want to buy things in order to rent them out. And the big question, how easy is it to make $100 a week? I'd give this a 2 out of 5, as it's very easy if you have enough assets to rent out. Most people have a house they can use to make an extra $100 a week, even if that means renting out a driveway or a spare room. If you'd like to know how you can get ahead of everyone else this year, then you can watch this video next, but don't click on it just yet. Make sure to subscribe if you want to grow your wealth, okay? I'll see you soon.